Driving through Tawarga is an eerie experience. This poor town used to be home to tens of thousands. Now they're all gone. Green flags flying above buildings show its people supported Muammar Gaddafi. Now most of the shops and homes are vandalised, burned, looted.
It seems someone who, like Colonel Gaddafi, certainly lived at this home, someone who didn't feel the same way, has slashed this image and done all of this. This is pretty much in the same state as all the homes we're seeing in this town. They have all been roughly searched or looted for things of value and use. And we're told that the residents of this town left quickly at short notice. And there is evidence of that everywhere. Personal possessions either left behind or tossed aside by those who have come through afterwards.
The only people in Tawarga now are anti-Gaddafi fighters. They openly hate the people who lived here. We can forgive Gaddafi before we forgive the Tawarga people, this man says. The fighters say they have good reason to feel this way. They're from Misrata, a neighbouring city that for months suffered through the fiercest battle of Libya's civil war. Gaddafi forces repeatedly hit Misrata with rockets and shelling, often firing from positions inside Tawarga. And Misrata residents accuse Tawarga men of raiding their homes and committing terrible crimes.
They are here, killed the women, killed the children, burning the house, stealing everything. They're doing very, very, very bad things.
When Misrata fell to the revolution, the people of Tawarga fled. They're now scattered across the country. We found around 1,000 of them in Tripoli, staying in former military barracks. These fighters from Misrata found them too and weren't happy to see us. The Tawarga here say the fighters arrested 2 men and took them away. Most of these people admit they were on Gaddafi's side and some of their men fought for him. They believe individuals who committed crimes should be punished, not the whole community. They tell me they want to go home. That suggestion has found little support among Misratans.
Yes or no, should they come back?
No, Tawarga.
Racism is also an issue here. Some graffiti in Tawarga describes its mostly black population as animals and slaves. While Misratans must rebuild much of their city, these people from Tawarga are too scared to leave their camp. Fighting in Libya isn't finished. Reconciliation hasn't started.
Fionnuala, when you speak to people in Misrata, you do get something of a range of opinion. There are those who believe it is only those who have committed crimes who should be punished. But there is certainly a widely held, much more extreme view, which is the town of Tawarga is now essentially finished. There are many people who believe those people should never be allowed to return, should never again be allowed to be neighbours to Misrata. And that is the view that really has human rights groups worried, because in their view, that amounts to collective punishment. Fionnuala.
All right, and then, of course, there's the whole question of reconciliation, and that leads me to the next question I was going to raise with you, the subject of these mass graves, the discovery of mass graves. Tell us a little bit more about it, and also, what can we expect to find any more of these kind of mass graves as time moves on, and what does that impact do these discoveries have on reconciliation?
They have already found a number of mass graves specifically related to this year, the events of this year, the revolution, if you like. And there's obviously a great deal of research and investigation that needs to go in to determine just who these victims were, what the circumstances are of their death. And as you say, I think this will obviously play a big part in future efforts to reconcile the differing sides of this conflict. But just today, they have also announced they believe they have discovered a much older mass grave, something dating back to the events of a particular massacre that is believed to have taken place in 1996 in Abu Salim prison here in Tripoli. This is an event that many Libyans have been demanding answers for some time. Even before this revolution began this year, there were crowds of people in this country protesting, demanding the government reveal just what happened, because it has long been suspected that as many as 1,200 prisoners within Abu Salim prison were gunned down back in 1996. Now the National Transitional Council here in Tripoli tells us that they have spoken to former prison guards of Abu Salim prison, and they believe that they have identified the grave where these victims have been buried. It sits adjacent to the prison itself. They have not begun excavation there, so it is a suspected mass grave, but one that is connected to a key recent event in Libya's history, an event that many people say was motivating them as they joined the revolution, as it spread across the country through the course of this year, Fionnuala.